Ready to go? All right, good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm Alfred Thomas coming to you live from Portland, Jamaica. This evening, we are remixing the program. We're taking over from Martin. We've sent Martin all the way in the back room and we are taking over. We're taking over. And so this evening, we have Kadia from New York. Kadia, wave to them so they can see you. We have the iconic advisor. We have Wendy. Hi. Wendy waves so they all can see you. And so essentially this evening, as I said, we are remixing the program. So we will be the host. Martin will be our guest this evening. So we have taken over. Right? And so what we're going to be doing this evening is that we all were presenters. We're hosts, we were guests on this program. And so we would have shared our poems and would have shared our experiences. And so this afternoon, we're making it very, very interactive. In the other programs that we had, we did all the chatting. We're going to do a little talking this evening. And then our guests, you, our viewers, will ask us questions. We'll give some snippets of the poems that we did. And we'll have conversations about it. And then we'll field the questions from all our guests. We have some other persons who will be joining us, some other previous guests to this program. So they'll also join us. And we hope to have a very exciting and a very, very interactive program. So our viewers online, whether on Facebook page, whether on YouTube, join us. Ask your questions. We're here to answer your questions. And so I'm going to move right over to Wendy. Go right to you, Wendy. How are you? How is you're from cool. You're from Mandeville, right, Wendy?
No, Clarendon.
Oh, Clarendon.
Yeah.
Oh, so you are from Clarendon. We'll soon have the person from Mandeville next. But you're from Clarendon. So we're gonna hand right over to you. You're gonna take it. I see you're in your vehicle, so you're on your way. I hope you're not having any trouble with the cops this evening after that 4 p.m.
I'm
hope you have
nearby
everything
home.
covered. Good. So we're gonna hand over to you right now. We're gonna hand over to you right now. So you're gonna take it away.
Okay, thank you, Alfred. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Right, I'm going to now invite the man of the hour, our special guest, Martin Matthews. Please join in. Hello.
You guys are too much. I want to put this out the funny.
Good to see
you. Martin, watch the funny. Watch the funny, Martin. Watch the funny. We're hilarious.
Oh, no, goodie.
We're hilarious.
Heard, Mr. Thomas. You're looking well yourself, Mr. Matthews.
Appreciate you, my dear. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Welcome, Martin. Welcome.
I have a melanin shirt on today, because there are a lot of us on the show. So each of our shades is represented on the shirt here. This is the melanin.
Love that.
The melanin shirt.
Love it.
Yeah, man. So we're representing.
Martin, I'm happy to say, Martin, that I'm welcoming you to your show.
Exactly.
My kids are the only one. My kids
he's in the hot seat.
Yeah, the kids are the
only one. Finally, right?
Yeah, he's in the hot seat.
All right.
And the roles will be reversed. So you will be in the hot seat, Martin.
We have cold water.
And so
Yeah.
I hope that's
viewers,
cold water. I hope that's
Yeah, I
cold
hope so.
water.
so
So
our
are you ready,
viewers, our viewers.
Martin?
I'm ready. I'm ready, Wendy. I'm ready, Wendy. I'm
Okay.
ready when you are.
All right.
Alfred,
Take it
you were
away,
going to say something?
I'm saying I hope our viewers are ready to shoot their questions at Martin. We will be fielding some questions, but we hope most of the questions will be at Martin so he can have a feel of what we had to go through when we were on the program. So over to you,
Yeah,
Wendy.
many,
Over to
many
you.
questions.
Okay, I'm just going to go straight into it because unfortunately I cannot stay for this the entire session. But Martin, in our session we did the Predator. Do you remember?
I do remember the Predator.
Yes, and you said that I have selected an interesting poem, right?
Yes.
And you asked me some questions, and then I had to be thinking on my feet. I was like, okay. And I was a bit nervous because I hope what I was saying was making sense.
It did.
No, you got my perspective, but I want to know from you because I don't know if what I said and how I interpreted your poem, if I was, having the same perception as you. So I was curious. I wanted to ask on the show, but the time was going. So now is the opportunity. I'm taking the opportunity to ask you, what is the background? What were you thinking when you wrote that poem, The Predator?
The Predator. First of all, I want to say that your interpretation of the Predator was excellent. I didn't like I think I hinted. I didn't think I never saw it in that light. But once you started explaining how you saw it, how you meant it, what you thought about it was quite brilliant. It was quite brilliant. But no, it's crazy. I remember writing the Predator. Actually, I was watching Criminal Minds. Actually, I was watching the show Criminal Minds, and they had some episode. I love Criminal Minds. They had some episode of
one of my fave. Yeah,
and if you know, sometimes, for lack of a better word, sexual arousal and violence are sometimes put together. Some call it S&M. A lot of people that go there and do things. They have an overlap, some kind of overlapping. Either way, I was done watching this episode and something just kind of stuck with me. So I started off the poem with I lie, I cheat, I kill. This is my way. This is my will. I lure, I trick, I feed. This is my way. These are my needs. So it's actually, to the points you made, it actually is about someone's sexual desires. You say, I am the one you love to hate. I am the one you hate to love. The emotions for the gate, I'm the enemy at the gate. Then it goes on to say, my disguises are always many, my ulterior motives are always few. So really, it's almost like a man, this debonair gentleman, who thinks he can go out here and get any woman that he wants.
What? That's an interesting thing from what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but like I said, the way you applied it was 100% on point. But when I wrote it, I had something different. So there's another one say, I pray, but I don't repent. I cry with ill intent. My conscience know no remorse, more high ground like on a horse. This is him feeling like I'm doing all these things to and with all these women, and it's whatever. I'm doing this for my own pleasure. I don't care who's affected. I don't care who's hurt. This is just me being a predator. I'm preying on women, but it's not in a violent, abusive type manner, even though the poem started off like that. It's I am conning these people. I'm running an elaborate con on them, and I'm having my way with them. I'm preying on them. So I'm a predator. It's more from that sense.
Katie, you were going to say something?
Oh, I was going to ask you to remind us of what you had interpreted it.
Well, my actual interpretation was I had two interpretations. I was thinking about an actual child predator.
Oh yes, no, I remember. Yes, I remember now.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I do remember.
And my other interpretation was talking about predators in our lives that
Oh yes, absolutely.
Prevent us from doing things or achieving things.
Yes.
So, right.
And like I said, based on the words that are written on the page, you reading it, not knowing what I was thinking, it's applicable. The words are applicable. It makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
It's just, and that's the way I guess poetry is. You know what I mean?
Yes,
A lot
that's the
of
beauty
poems,
of poems, right? Mm-hmm.
yeah, Alfred was the same
So,
way. Alfred's poem
so
was,
Martin,
Alfred took his poem in a totally different direction than I intended it as well too. It happens.
Martin,
Okay.
Okay.
so Martin, how Wendy interpreted, I can understand how she would have interpreted, and that would have fit perfectly with with what you were watching.
Mhm.
Because watching Criminal Minds, then that would align.
Right.
But how did you get your interpretation from watching and inspiration from Criminal Minds? Because the two
Well,
don't go together, Martin.
well, here's the thing though. It's like, all right, it's kind of like when I'm coming up with the titles for the poem.
Yeah.
Sometimes I write the poem first and then I give it a title. Sometimes I have a title and then I write the poem to match it. So it's kind of like sometimes it's on the nose, obvious, but sometimes you have to kind of like sift through it to see where I'm actually going with it. You know what I mean? All right, let me give you something. The last verse in that poem says, "The silent voice you wish you ignored, the face that stands out in the crowd, the indiscretion you wish no one knew, the burning desire you can't subdue." The predator. So it's really about you, a female or a male, identifying someone and allowing themselves to fall for this person and just didn't get a really good deal. You know what I mean? They fell prey to the person's predator.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
True.
Okay, I have a next question. As
Yes,
a
ma'am.
married man, I'm going into your personal life now.
Here you know. Yo,
As a
I'm
married
going to reserve the
man,
right to
It's
say no.
really the hot seat.
I'm going to reserve the no comment response.
do you have any intentions to write poem for couples that will stimulate intimacy? You know, like
Okay.
the raw into like when they read the poem, they're actually, they're
Well, I
ready
think
to
I
Sounds
think
like
some of
when they
them-
need help.
maybe.
I think some of them are like that. I think some of them are like that now, actually. I actually submitted book 2 to the person that's going to format it for me for printing.
Okay.
I actually submitted that this week. I added what I call the extras. I added probably like another 8 poems to it. It had probably like 52, 55. I added 8 more that I decided that I wasn't going to include just cause. I'm like, you know what? Why not? Like, you watch, you buy a CD and it have a bonus track that they don't list on the table of contents or whatever, or the track list. Yeah, so I've added a couple more to it. As
But
extra.
8 is not a track. 8. That's a EP by itself.
Well, you know what? You don't understand. Okay, so I found a stash of these today. I was cleaning out a closet and I found a stash of these. I usually buy these like 6 at a time. They're my scratch pads, right? Now, if I go through the scratch pad, there's just gonna be poems and poems written on the scratch pad. You know what I mean? You look at it, all you see out there, you can't see. All you're gonna see out there is poem after poem written on the scratch pad. You know what I mean? So, and I have a dozen of these. You know what I mean? So I'm not short on poems. I'm not short on poems to write. I can write poems all day.
So Wendy, you think these are more geared to the single people like myself? Or you're saying you want something
I should have
spicier?
included singles too because where we could get the help, it will be greatly appreciated, Martin.
Confession is good.
No, but you see, here's the thing, what you have to really realize is that it is there. I demand them to go take it up and utilize it. It's there.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
But
yeah.
Martin,
Yeah.
I think day one had some heading in the sensual direction.
Yeah. Let me see if I find day one.
You
Wait.
can find sensual stuff in there, man.
Okay,
Because for
yeah.
married couples, remember, you still need to be dating, so I think it's relevant. And there's one in there. I haven't read the anniversary, but I'm wondering if it speaks to couples, Martin. I haven't read that, but just because of how you coin your title. Sometimes the title say one thing, and when you read it, it's saying
Exactly.
somewhere
Yeah,
else.
different
So I'm not
thing,
even
yeah.
sure.
It's
Hold on,
totally different
I
from,
think we
from
have,
the title.
I think we have somebody else here. Wendy, before I let Mary on, Mary, I see you, my dear. Wendy, you good? Because we know you have to run, so we'll make sure you get everything out before we make you go.
Get it off of your
Yeah,
chest, girl.
Yeah, I just there's just one thing because coming from you are a trained teacher, right? So I was
Right.
just wondering, as if you were in the classroom, how you would incorporate your poem in a social study or history class. Because I know you were a social study history major. Ever think about it? I know you leave the classroom for a long time, but
Mary, you
I
sure?
can't help
Mary, you
asking that
ready?
educational thing. Huh?
Mary, you sure you ready? Hold on, let me take off Mary. I'm not sure if Mary ready. Hey,
Mary beats Kenya.
Mary,
Guess what happened,
That is
guys?
a female predator.
Mary, you ready?
Woo!
Hold on, no, I have to get a thumbs
Heard
up
it. Guess
from
what
Mary.
happened?
Mary, I spice up the
But
show.
I have
I have to get a thumbs up from Mary. Mary, give me the thumbs up when you're ready. Give me the thumbs
Mary
up when you're
adding
ready,
Mary
baby.
adding some spice, Martin.
oh my god,
Hold on.
Sharnet.
Hold on, I see that. Mary, let me answer this question before me
Sharnet,
add you. How we add your boy?
I'm modestly clad.
Mm.
So
Yes.
how am I in competition?
It's
Wait,
page 27 for Mary, waiting. That's the part we need to read.
Let's welcome
So
Mary.
I wait for her.
You
We
see,
need the spice.
that's Mary,
We
Mary,
need-
full of grace. Mary,
We
full
need
of
the
grace.
spice. Give us
That's
the
a good
spice,
one,
man.
Louise.
All right, so let me answer Wendy. I then add Mary. Wendy,
Give us. Oh, go ahead.
I think in order to memorize, we were asked to do different things to memorize work. You know what I mean?
Right.
My very elegant mother served us 9 pies for the planets, and whatever other things we used to remember things. So I'm sure I could incorporate using poetry or having kids write poetry to remember content. You know what I mean? Using writing poetry as a medium to remember content. We could find acronyms for stuff and so on. That's it. Because so far I've been resource persons in several classes, especially now via whatever medium you guys use in the classroom. I've done several. I did a class last week actually for a school in Spanish Town. I was talking to some boys. Mhm.
No, I know. You'll
So
be
there
hearing
is-
from me soon.
there are ways to do it. And I did a class also in North Carolina for Michelle Johnson, and they were dealing with, I think, sentence structures or something like that. And she had me do Madison with them, just showing the progression of things. And
Wow, that
there are
must be
ways you
lovely.
can use it if you're creative. And kids are always open to something that don't look like the norm. So,
Exactly.
all right. Did I get it? Did I answer?
Okay. Thank you.
Anytime, my
Okay,
dear.
I
Bye,
wanted to
Wendy.
Mary come on first before I leave.
No, but Mary, you're on 2 devices. Mary, you're on 2 devices. Which one should I use?
The one in the clothes.
All right, let me see.
The one in the computer. Okay. Oh, I'm on the show. Hello, darling. Hi, Mary. I'm here for you.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Mary.
And hold on. Then the titles are tiny. So Wendy and Katie and the iconic advisor and Alfred. Okay, I can see everybody. Good.
Okay.
You
Hi,
sure don't want to keep on the
Mary.
glasses?
So Mary,
Only
Mary,
when I don't make you look so bad, man.
so Mary, Mary, I tell you, say we see one picture in the little while. What happened? See when this
picture?
We saw a portrait.
What kind of
Wait,
portrait?
hold on. Stand up, Mary. Stand up. Stand up, Mary. Stand up.
Can you, Mary, can you stand up?
Can you stand up, Mary? If you
Well,
can,
let me
stand
get-
up.
I'm a whole woman.
Don't freeze up. Oh, gosh.
Behave yourself.
Mary, you still not getting no good Wi-Fi?
What do you want to know? There's nothing to see.
You still not getting no good Wi-Fi?
We still not gonna watch.
No Wi-Fi.
Should that be your person?
Mary, a drama queen. Wait. All right. So Mary, when before all right, when do you good, my dear?
Hi, sister.
Yes.
All right. Well, you
Thanks
hang
for
around
thanks,
as long
Alfred,
as
for
you can.
allowing me to join the session. I take my leave now.
All right.
Okay,
Check
Wendy,
in,
Bye-bye.
take care.
check in back whenever you
Bye.
can. Later.
I'm
Bye,
going
Wendy.
before the police them stop me.
You
It's
understand?
past four.
We don't want them to throw you up in the truck. So be safe.
All right, there. Thanks.
Okay, take care.
All right, Wendy.
They have space in the trunk.
All right. So Mary,
Yes.
talk to us, my dear.
You hearing
What's
me?
going on? Yes, we are. Talk to it now.
Okay. I had church today, so by the time I was finished with the church, put off the church ad to put on the talk show at the celebrity hat, you know that course they take a time to go on.
So we caught you in between. We caught you in between, going from one to the next. Then.
Yes, yes. I'm a woman of many hats.
Alfred, take it away. Mary, what you have to ask us? What you want us to talk about?
Ask us. Remember, you are in the hot seat, Martin.
Nobody-
Exactly.
Alfred, I pass me
We're not.
So,
No,
Alfred,
Martin, no, Martin.
you need to moderate.
No, Martin, you're still in the hot seat, and I had asked you about day one. What
Oh,
was the inspiration behind day one?
Let me see. Day one, she came adorning rings and things. Don't remember. Wait, don't remember the Red Bull, but I have wings covered from head to toe, yet her radiance still showed. Her smile goes on for days. Her eyes, oh.
Yes, that one. That one.
Yes. I can see
Continue,
that
Martin.
it's
Continue.
right.
All right, so
Continue, Martin.
I
Continue.
can read it. I can read it first. Okay, her smile goes on for days. Her eyes could light up a stage, sensitive to the touch. Kind words make you blush. Staying composed so her body doesn't tell. Wanting to touch, but hides it so well. Willingly following my lead, questioning the amount of composure she'll need. A wave of emotions comes and goes. A battle of wits keeps her on her toes. The meeting of lips summons the
nervous.
feeling of bliss.
Yeah.
What a hotness.
When the body came close, when everything froze,
He's still blushing.
eyes closed, eyes closed, pulse racing, juices begin to flow, lines crossed, boundaries broken, whispering, nobody has to know. Too nervous to release the pleasure I seek, though with every touch, every kiss, I get weak. But a door has now been opened, its destination unknown, a tree planted, though still ungrown. Now steps must
Underground.
be taken and preparations made, a merger forged, evolution to the next stage.
So the author stutter on his own words,
I
Right?
was very nervous.
choking on his own words, blushing on his own words.
Very nervous.
Yeah.
Woo,
So
okay.
this one, thank you, Alfred. This one
Alfred,
will take us into the
this was
others.
your poem.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I
What was the
I
question
need, I
again?
need one stanza of that as a teaser.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, of day one?
Okay.
Yeah, I did one. That was the last part, and we had a lot of the females asking for all of it to be read, and so we just left it
yes,
there.
it's true.
True. Yeah, day one. Yeah, day one. Day one is literally day one. Day one is a first date. Day one is a synopsis.
date?
All of this happening on a first date.
First date? Wow.
What took place? That's not first date.
Because the Red Bull is in the second line, but then there were juices flying in some stanza somewhere.
Then my
Oh,
girl.
sure,
hold
those
on.
may have been the drinks.
Red Bull, they're way up at the top, down at the bottom. Juice are fly, juice are flow.
What you understand this now? No, understand this now. Having if you're going out on a date with someone that you're attracted to at the first time, and the conversation can't, if the conversation alone can't make no juices flow, no, not it, right?
So it means you got something.
First date.
Somebody said something funny and you spill your juice, or you what? So what?
Or you laugh
Plain
until you
juice
cry.
flow, sir.
No, it means that
Turn
Turner,
it up the
maybe
juice
the person
pouring,
laughed
Martin.
until they cried. So
That's it,
maybe
you
that's probably some of the juices.
Yeah.
Laughing until you cry.
Louis said
And
must be
first date make you have
conversation.
wings on them. Yo.
Lord,
No, so no, it's you meet
Doesn't sound
someone
like
and
this date was
yeah,
around a table.
you hit it off. You meet somebody, you hit it off with them, and the conversation was as such that you realize the mutual attraction and y'all intellectually compatible that made you think that your compatibility should transcend into other things, and because of that,
for example.
tell them Mary, help me out, Mary, help me out, struggle.
You led her somewhere, obviously.
May I struggle, Mary, tell me now, help me now, Mary.
I was trying to help you because they seem to be going for the jugular. I think I could see where that lead. You think you hit it off. You have so much in common. Your vibes in. I can see where that can quickly lead us to the B room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
exactly.
you left this because bodies came close now and eyes are closed. Only when I'm
I
about
could imagine that he didn't eat or she didn't eat. The food was untouched. They were, too, into
Or
each
you
other.
didn't eat food,
They were
maybe
in eat.
eat but no food. Hold on.
boundaries.
Hold on.
Maybe she became the food.
The pastor is here. Reverend Jacko Kumar Tomlinson is here. So I want everybody on their best behavior.
Well, we need to speak. I am going to speak by mine, and the pastor can pray for me tomorrow.
Omar, you ready? When you're ready, give us a thumbs up when you're ready, Omar. When you're ready, thumbs up. So Mary, you were saying, Omar not quite ready yet. Give us a thumbs up. I mean, Mary, tell us what you done. Tell us that. Help me out there.
I see where that heading, where you go on this hot date and everything is heating up quite nicely. The physical food, have no more appeal because your attention is otherwise taken. And I can see, I'm not going to put the L word on it to say it's love, but I'm going to think that some real
There's another L word.
Lost, which is the
Lost.
LU.
That's obvious. The LU is very obvious.
The LU, yes.
Obvious.
Very, very obvious. So, I think God made no mistakes when he put those two L words, there and there. So, I can see how that go, Martin. So, which lead me to my question. So, was this because my poem is anniversary, right?
Come again, Mary.
She said her poem is anniversary.
Yes.
And was this the same? Was this the lost word? Did it turn into the L word to become the anniversary word?
Absolutely. You see, Mary, I knew you'd help. Me figure this out.
And that's why you're asking Mary, because Mary's thinking like a writer, not a reader. Like
what she said. Whatever she said, that's it. What Mary said, that's it. What she said, yes.
You're seeking a cop out. Mary from author to author kind of vibes.
I mean, I'm just following the nuts. So, Martin, next question.
Not the boys.
I see you end the poem. You end the poem with "Nothing will ever break us apart." Do you still share that sentiment? Because I'm asking that question for me, not for you. Because anniversary is
anniversary.
My poem.
That's page 16. Let me jump to page 16 here.
Oh,
Anniversary says
My poem that were penned by your fingers, not my word.
So my commitment is to you.
Right?
You've shown me love I never knew. I love you with all my heart.
Yes.
Nothing will break us apart. And what's the question?
Right. So as I ask you that question, I ask for myself. Because as I said to you, this is my poem that was penned by your fingers, but my sentiments and thoughts exactly. And my journey. So I'm so relating to this poem. So as I am now looking to walk down the aisle, say nothing,
Say nothing.
And I'm having all of these feelings that you have expressed in this poem. I'm going through those same emotions. As I come to the end, and as we are going through some rockies, some hills, not yet married, but starting going through the hills, the rockies, the valleys, the smooths, the plains, the clouds, all of these emotions wrapped up in one. I can't help but want to see the end. And your poem says, I love you with all my heart. Nothing will ever break us apart. How long have you gone down this journey? And would you still end these lines today? End the poem in this way.
One
Okay, give me
important
some
note
hope.
to the
Give me some
poem.
hope, Martin. Give me some
One
hope.
important.
Hallelujah.
I
Give me
noticed
some
one
hope.
important thing. I noticed one important thing about anniversary and the one next to it, emotional. So
Yes.
you guys can probably browse through that. Most of the poems end with a date and what book it is, but anniversary end with it is for Cassandra.
Wow.
So the
So that was
question is
personal.
appropriate,
Yes, no
Mr.
date.
Matthews. There's a date assigned to
We
it.
can't read it.
I'm
And
sorry, what now?
if my memory should serve me correctly, that is the Mrs. Matthews' first name.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
So answer the question.
No, well, no, absolutely, absolutely. Here's the thing with love. Love is dynamic. So there's another poem that says, in fact, it says it's not a destination that you seek. It's not a vault that you can breach. Here's another poem here that says that. Even anniversary starts off by saying, my definition of love evolved when I met you. 35 years old, still learning something new. That's how it started. So it's like love is like an organ,
Really?
an organism.
No,
Organic.
is it just me?
Wait. No,
I
Martin.
heard
That's not what we
something
heard.
else.
That's not what we heard, Martin.
We-
You said
I'm
it
probably
correctly
on
the
the
first
same
time.
page.
Go ahead.
Love is
Martin,
like,
you said it correctly the first time. So continue on that path.
okay. Whatever it is that love is, it has the ability to evolve. It has the ability to grow. So how you love someone at one particular time might not be how you love them at another time. It might not be what is required from love at another time. You see what I'm saying? So it's like even with your children, when they're young, the way you love them, the way you care for them, that's something that's what you do at that time. As they grow older, you still love them, but the way you love them is different. The love you give to them is different. How you show them love is different. So yes, absolutely, I would feel the same way now, but the love has evolved. It's not at the place that it was then. There I could see the potential for it. Now I'm seeing the evolution of it into what it now looks like, but I definitely still feel the same way. So yes, Mary, Mary, come on, go. All right, Mr. Tomlinson is here. The Rev.
Omar,
Thank you, Martin.
how are you? How are you, Sir Tomlinson? How are you, Omar?
Omar is frozen too. So he's back.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello, Omar. How are you? All right.
I
Watch it past the wife. But love is
you
a
guys are
hard thing.
sounding distorted on my side. I'm wondering if I need to sign out and sign back in.
You probably should. And I'm hearing feedback.
There's something
Hello?
in the background.
Someone probably watching it.
I think
Okay.
it's best to sign out and sign back in, Omar, because you're freezing at times.
Yeah, I'll try that.
All right, we'll be here when you come back. If you find Mary, still have to
Martin,
come. Yes, sir.
Martin, I realized that you were being very conservative, and I don't know. And then you obviously saw the comment a while ago from
Martin is a shy person.
from
And
First
that's why I
Lady.
don't understand where these
You
points
saw it.
come from.
You saw the comment from the pastor's wife, the first lady,
See there.
Louise
Martin
Rose, that
said it. She's just
love is like
repeating what
an
Martin
orgasm
said.
for real, Martin. So I don't know why you were shy.
She has orga. It could be organa goal. It could be organized. It could be anything.
Organic.
It could be organic. You know what I mean? I was trying to say it was an organism, which means it has properties of food.
Mechanisms.
Yes.
I
and
mean, either of the two words can work.
Work.
Martin. So it wasn't.
okay.
Nothing is
Actually,
wrong.
Martin,
Nothing is wrong if it was a Freudian slip. That's not an issue.
Sure that you have enough papers. What do you call
Freudian.
the papers there?
is a book.
Something you have? Oh,
I actually found my poem, and I think it was Profile, if I'm not mistaken. One of the poems I read, I can't remember the other one.
okay.
But Martin, I'd like to get into your head a bit with all the poems, all of them. As you said, you will actually see a topic or and the stanza as you get into it but to the end, the second to last, it have you thinking about something else. Can you say, especially since we just spoke about the poem Mary picked, anniversary, are most of these poems coming from an aspect of experience, or is it conversation, or is it thoughts? Because I see the none. How do it seems to me like sometimes you get into the headspace of even females, or is
Criminal
it there
minds.
another side, a sensitive side where
Criminal
how
minds.
how do you coin these words? What place or what frame of mind you have to be in to be writing with all of those papers that you're showing us there? It means that these creative juices are still flowing.
Well, here's the thing, Shernit. We all experience all of the emotions. Emotions are on a spectrum. We all experience love, hate. We all experience all of the emotions that there are to experience. For me, all I try to do is interpret what that emotion could mean for somebody else. Before we went live, Kadia mentioned emotionless. And she was talking about emotionless in the sense that it was talking about a person that was in a church setting. They were observing everybody else doing all these things, but they didn't feel it. So they were there, they were singing, they were clapping like everybody else, but what everybody else seemed to have been feeling, they didn't feel it. So even when I wrote something like that, it would have been me being in that setting, observing this person and seeing somebody that just, because you can tell the people at church that just don't fit. They're there, they don't quite fit. And it's just, you channel these people's energies. You put yourself in their shoes. There's another poem in here called Child Soldiers. I've never been a child soldier. I don't know anything about a child soldier. But you hear about child soldiers, you read about child soldiers. And I put myself in the shoe of a child soldier. And I think it's like one of the first couple of poems in the book too. And it says, their minds cannot conceive, they do not believe, they lack inspiration, they suffer malnutrition. Their morning sees no sun, their end has begun, their days lay waste, their hunger-stricken face. So it's just, I don't know what it is like to be a child soldier, but when I put myself in that mindset, I'm watching channel of TV that sound like somebody you got to tell somebody to turn the antenna out.
Probably Mary full of surprises.
Don't have a thing Mary Garmin is
Yeah,
here
I'm
now.
hearing the feedback.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, you just channel the energy of somebody, and that's where the inspiration comes from. Are you
Or you want to do a lot of reading, Martin?
say that again?
Did you do a lot of during your childhood coming up? Have you done a lot of reading? Because
Right.
that can help to, stimulate the.
The vocabulary demand, because
I
the
read
fact that Kenya asked that. I can
The
write to the
cognitive.
Martin, but these writing are
Yeah.
you
Well, I
have to
think we-
you have to
I
have
think
on
we
the
have.
literature mind to interpret, and then you could have one interpretation and then you hear something else, and like it
Oh,
actually
yeah, that
sways
makes
you
sense.
from your
Yes,
very
that's true.
thoughts. It
That's
makes you
true.
you're reading it and you interpret this and then you hear something else and then it sounds as if what you had thought or said goes out the table because it's something else that is coming at you.
Yeah, that
Mary
makes
said she's
perfect
watching
sense
on
as
YouTube,
well.
but then it takes you on another lane. It's like Martin, is like your brain is split in two, and you're writing for the male at the same time you're writing for the female. It's like you're having both experiences at the same time. So I want to know what place where you have to be. I mean, there's one called the rant. I haven't read it, but when I speak of rant, it sounds as if it's somebody that is going on and on, probably angry about something, or probably arguing about something, or have an issue with something. If I read it, it probably don't even say that.
Well,
That's true.
the thing of it though, Sheridan, is like you have to feel things. Like first of all, I can be a chameleon if I needed to. So I can get up today, leave here, go to Alaska, and live there and be happy tomorrow morning. As long as I have some way to pay my bill, I can do that. I can go live anywhere at the drop of a hat if I needed to, and wherever I am, I can assimilate. But I guess that just gives me you have to look and see. I think, and I know there's a lot of things going through my head at the same time, but I think people look and they don't see. You understand?
Right.
So I walk into job, I walk into work. The lady that's sitting at the desk that answers the phone got a haircut, and I said to her, "Oh, morning, you got a haircut. It looks nice." And she said, "Oh my God, I've been here all day and nobody noticed it but you." Right? Because everybody finds they look, but they don't see. So sometimes you have to look, I have to see, and some people don't. And I'm hearing the feedback again.
Okay.
All right, Omar, you're here.
Omar, you're here, Omar. And remember, Martin is in the hot seat. So everything is to be thrown at him. Do not hold back. Throw it at him. He's our guest this evening.
Okay. The host is now the guest.
Yes, in the hot seat.
Hunted.
The host is now the host.
And the seat has been very hot. He has been nervous. He seemed very, very shy in reading a couple of the lines in one of the poems. So we're having an effect. So let's press gas.
He's on the
Yeah.
I had looked at the poem The Lion. I think it was part 2, if I'm correct. Mm-hmm. And it was an interesting poem. Somewhat I could relate to. And in terms of the struggle on the inside. Now, I will assume that the poem was written from a personal, should we say, personal place.
Point of view.
Is that a good assessment?
Martin, before you respond, because we're picking up a trend, you know. Omar, what was your interpretation of it? Because we're finding that what we interpret the poem as, Martin's weird mind was at a totally different place, and he has a totally different interpretation. So that's what we want to know, your interpretation, so we can then hear Martin to see if both are in sync.
All right. My interpretation was the poem was the idea that the lion was representing the man, and there was that internal struggle, because at some point the lion would want to. The lion represented, I think, the untamed side of the man, but in order to fit in, there was that struggle of containing the lion, and not letting it loose, because the lion being untamed was not restrained by what you call now political correctness and other things. So the poem was showing both of them have to live within that same vessel, and there's a power struggle, because at some point the lion wants to take charge, but the man has to be keeping controlled. It under wraps, controlled. Though I think one of the stanzas indicated that somehow in a sense, the man also wants the lion to be free.
Mhm.
But I
So he
suppose
said in a battle, in a conflict.
yes,
He said he has more fun and feels so free when he's out.
right,
Sure.
right,
So
right.
you
Release
don't
the
have to
lion,
have
no,
you
Martin.
free.
Release the
You don't
lion.
have to have you free.
Let's
Sounds
hear, let's
like
hear, Martin. Let's hear.
sounds like a semi quarantine.
I want to see
Let
the
out
coins
the
that come
lion,
out of this quarantine.
I actually wrote a poem called Quarantine. But yeah. No, Omar is right. Omar is right. The lion, and if you realize the lion has a series, it's really
Yep.
you allowing
Right up to 4.
somebody else's desire or putting somebody else's desires in front of your own. And the fact that you doing that curtails who you are. You're kind of arguing with yourself, saying, "Why am I doing this?" So, though me being this way makes everybody else happy, it doesn't make me happy. Why am I sacrificing myself to make other people happy when I really could just let my real self out? Like let's look at Hulk and Bruce Banner. I could really just let the Hulk out and let him go smash stuff. Just let him out and let him go smash stuff. Why am I now being Bruce Banner in this lab? Testing test tubes and whatnot. Why am I doing that when the Hulk can just go out there and break stuff and be happy? It's kind of like that.
You tell us why you're doing that.
Well, let me say before you respond, sir, this book alone has the lion mentioned 5 different chapters. The lion inside,
5
1, 2,
points.
and 3. They have a lion at the top, and then the lion part 2 again. So somebody's screaming to come out. You can respond now, sir.
Help me!
Free up the lion of Judah, man.
And Martin,
Right?
while we're at it, Louis is asking, what does the symbol of the lion mean to you? So you can add
Not
both.
clocks.
Which symbol? You mean the one in the top right hand? You mean the
The
symbol?
symbol of the lion. The
I
symbol
think
of
she
the
meant
lion.
the book,
That's
sir.
my logo. That is my Chronicles of a
I don't
Black
think she
Leopard.
said logo. She said
She wants to know
symbol.
what it means to you.
Oh, the lion. The lion is your untamed self. The lion is you. Okay. You ever hear
Alpha
somebody?
male.
You ever see somebody say like they ain't done with the foolishness now, they ain't ready for whatever, like them now take the foolish. Is that part of you that is capable? All right, put it this way. It's that part of you that is absolutely selfish.
Fearless too.
Though it is selfish, it is also fearless. It will always put your needs above everybody else. It will always protect you. It'll
And
always be
always
your honey.
hunting.
It will always support you. So it's like, even though there's a destructive nature to it, it's kind of like that support you need whenever. If everything else fails, that lion is still in your corner.
The lion roars.
And the lion has been, even though the lion has not been mentioned in the other topics of the book, I think the lion, based on the definitions that Martin has just given, came out in all the points.
The lion is a constant. I agree with you, Shernette.
Hence the symbol.
All these things, huh? Wow.
Martin slid past something that Shernette said earlier. I don't know if we realize when Shernette made the comment that the lion is always seem as if the lion is either always hunting or is still hunting.
Uh-huh.
Or wants to be.
I said all of that.
Yes. You said, you just mentioned hunting. I just added
I
the rest.
mentioned hunting, yes. But then in anniversary, it sounds as if he has stopped hunting. But then, like I said, there's a lion there's a lion. If you go check on a book, let me tell you know where it is, so you can go look for yourself. You don't believe it. There is lion chapter on page 13. Lions inside 19, 20, 21. That's 1, 2, and 3. And then over to, as soon as find it, don't worry, chapter 64. Page 64. The lion almost to the end.
Okay.
And then you have toxic down there. So the lion still exists. He's hunting, fearless.
We have to cross-check the dates though, Shernette, to see if
That's our
Well,
homework, Kadia.
The chapters. But I did
That's our homework.
intellectually in love, and it's in 2015. So I'm trying to where I would love to know, Mr. Matthews, is it a follow-up from anniversary and all the others? The intellectually in love, or that was
And that's the first one.
You see, here's the what should I say? The critical mistake that you ladies are making. Or
The
that
lion
you
can be
ladies
cunning too.
and gentlemen are making.
Bye.
Here's the critical mistake. I have a muscle contraction in my foot, but I try not to speak.
No. I'm not saying I'm not saying it. I'm just asking, is it a follow-up? And if not,
No, well, I'm answering.
where was its origin?
I'm answering. I'm saying that the fatal assumption that you guys are making that is leading you all off track is that all these poems are about me. And I think once you take me out of the equation and just realize the situations and the scenarios being discussed, then you'll see that it's wider than that. You see what I'm saying? So you're trying to tie it to me because I wrote it, but it's not really like that.
Martin,
It's a CNC question, If not, where's the origin of this one?
Of which one?
CNC question. If it's not a follow-up, what's the origin?
like you, Kadia.
What are the two questions? What are the two poems again?
So you answered part already.
Okay. What are the two questions though? The two poems
I
are
was asking, intellectually in love, was it a follow-up from the anniversary?
Oh no.
And I'm saying, if not, what was the origin and what was the thought process behind it?
Okay. Intellectually in love came about when a friend
In 2015.
Okay, let's not use. He said we're making errors by going by the dates. So
Why put a date then, Kadia? Why put a date? Because all of them have even up to 2012 in the middle of the book. So it's not chronologically in terms of date format organized.
It's not chronological. Exactly.
Our mental capacity is not up to par with the lions. So let's see.
Yeah, no, intellectually in love was me interpreting somebody's condition or somebody's situation. You see, oh no, make it pass away if I come for me now. Both see it hot. You see it
And all of
happening.
the lions cut inside out 1, 2, and 3 said the date is unknown. You never have to.
Oh, okay. You see?
No, because
real king of the jungle.
So here's what happened. Here's how the compilation of the book came about. When I decided to compile the book, I had these poems everywhere. I had them on a bunch of these notepads. I had them on the back of receipts. I had them on little scraps of paper inside a bedside drawer that I just put stuff that I wrote in. So when I decided to start compiling them, some of them I knew the date of, some of them I didn't. I couldn't remember when I wrote them because some of them had the date on it, some of them didn't have the date on it. And I just compiled them, and they were obviously not placed in chronological order. I just kind of put them in an order that I felt like this is how it should flow, so I went that way with it.
Or
I guess the lions were not on any other receipts.
And you have to play it safe. If you put
that
a
would
date,
help you out.
the lion can't expose himself and don't put a date.
Well, let me make a confession. When the book came home, when the proof copy came home, I said to the wife, let's get something clear here now.
Disclaimer.
There is nothing in this book that I'm going to answer any questions about if it predates us meeting. If it predates when we met, I will not answer anything about it. And she read it the first time and she said, oh no, it's fine. And then one day I came home, I go find the book with one whole heap of fold up page. So one whole heap of fold up page and whole heap of sticky notes in them. and babe, we need to talk. I'm like, no, we do not need to talk. You signed a disclaimer. These predate you, and I will be answering any questions about them.
Also, there were no
Martin,
post
you know
dates.
why the questions would be relevant? Because the how you coin the words and the emotions that are placed in this one. You see how this book's thin? And it fits the size of a book that is probably this thick based on the experience that is placed in here
And the content.
and the content. Then me as well, she as a wife reading all of that sounds like, why are you know, most of them is why you're here because them experience here. And if it predates me, but I thought this was me. I mean, I thought this is what we were experiencing. I thought, you know, this was our encounter. So if that could trigger some questions.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. She made
And
the
that's
same
why I
mistake.
asked you the question before, Martin. Do
Uh-huh.
you write these poems as, I'm gonna just say it, male and female? One, you're thinking as a man and you're thinking as a woman. Not saying anything is wrong with that, but you seem to touch both sides of both emotions.
Well, you have to, because like I said, you have to take me out of the equation. I
But are
am
you
just the
writing?
vessel. I am just the vessel. Tell them Omar about
Okay,
vessel.
Pastor.
I'm just the vessel that is being used to bring you the poem. You know, there's a poem.
Bring
All right,
the
look.
revelation.
Yes.
There's a poem
Divine
in the
one.
book called Him,
Divine
right?
one.
There's a poem in the book called Him. Him is on page 34. It just called Him. Page 34. And it said, no, that one I'm gonna look for.
As in HIM him?
Yes, there's a poem in the book called HIM Him.
So that's
And
the one you're looking for?
no, I think there's one. There should be one in there called Her. I didn't put Her in here. I wrote the poem called Her as well. And the point being, though, they're from different perspectives. Madison is written from the perspective of a child. Child Soldier is written from the perspective of a child. The Nun is written from the perspective of a nun. The Rant is written from the perspective of a lesbian. The Random is written from the perspective of a person that's drunk and high.
Mr. Thomas,
Have
that's
you
sweet.
ever been drunk and high?
That's what I'm saying.
That's your running to find
Omar,
her.
I was thinking that, but I didn't want to say it. I was saying, was there some other elements in the mind?
No, yeah,
Exactly.
Random. All right, look at the poem. Random is written from the perspective of somebody drunk.
You know, Bob Marley writes some good music. So
When he's high.
you know
What was
where
that, Omar?
his inspiration was from.
You see, exactly.
Well,
My point.
You see, I told you about these topics. You remember when I mentioned the rant earlier, I said what the word rant stands out to me as someone who needs to get something off their chest, or someone is angry, or there's a point that needs to be. And you hear what Martin said about?
Well, it's not. Let me see. The rant is
A
on page
lesbian.
73. Page 73.
Did you
Omar,
scan it through, Sharnette?
Huh?
Did you scan
It says
through it?
my I haven't read it, but then I'm saying
No,
my
read it.
point.
Or
read the
No,
rant.
Martin piqued my interest because I read it because the
Read.
rant, okay, somebody upset. But
Let's-
about a lesbian, I'm gonna read it.
Let's read it.
Read
Yes,
it.
let's go through it,
Somebody
Martin.
read the rant.
Everybody read the rant.
Well,
That's it.
Go ahead,
Let's
And
Omar.
this was dated in 2015.
no,
Let's say,
I don't have the book on hand right now. So I listen
Okay,
to
we'll read. You have it, Kadia?
I do, my dear. So we
All right, so I'll go with the
we'll-
first one. We'll read
Okay.
alternate stanzas.
So Thomas, you're in.
You're in, Mr. Thomas?
Host, you're in. You're in.
No, you both stick to the rant. We listen. You both rant. We
The men
listen.
no want
Chime in.
no part of it. Come
Alright,
the
so
leads.
my darkest moments are known by one. He's not the father of my son, not the one I come home to at night, yet plays a main role in my life. Eucadia.
Oh, not the one I come home to at night. Yet plays the main role in my life.
Oh, you there, miss? Did I hear me read that already?
No. I didn't hear you. You're actually sorry.
How simple.
simply this would be if it was not about me. Why must the road I travel bear such complexity? How can that which makes me happy be taboo? Why should my life be defined by the things you do?
Who holds the destiny of my heart? Why must my choice tear me apart? From family and friend and foe, why the judgment? I don't know.
Should I conform or take a risk? Pass up his lips? It's hers I'll kiss. Why am I get that one there?
Yeah, it says about a lesbian.
No, but I bet you if I didn't tell you, you would have read
You would
it
not have
and missed it.
That line
All
speaks
right.
to a threesome.
My way of life, I always taught your opinions infected needs an antidote.
I'm comfortable in my skin, despite my indiscretions with him. Your opinion is unfounded, decisions made firmly rooted.
I'm aware of the choices you want. They bear no resemblance to my heart. I'm aware of the acceptable norm. Ignoring the calm, here comes the storm.
So judge me as you will. Voice your opinions to your fill. My happiness is priceless. How's yours? Relax. I don't open closed doors.
If I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know.
No, you
Pass up his lips,
Only
his
know.
hers, I'll kiss. Sounds like a threesome there. That
It-
one line,
Exactly.
nothing else.
Okay, all right. And if you didn't know, if I didn't tell you what I told you, you would have read it and you would not have gotten it.
Nope.
You would have probably run away with the threesome scenario,
right.
which potentially is applicable too, but yeah. So that's my point. I can write a poem from a perspective of anybody or anything as long as
So would it be a conversation that you would have had, or is it a situation that you're aware of? And that's what I'm saying. What frame of mind? And I don't think you've answered because we're taking it away from you. It's not about you, Martin. You're obviously not a lesbian. But what frame of mind you have to be in to write these poems? I mean, how do you? Do I have to? So it means that I need to
we
be
hope
afraid
it's
of the
not-
conversations that I have with you.
Okay, so here's I wrote a poem. I went to go
We are
visit my
hoping he's
sister.
not
Fear
the
that it
male
makes it
version
to the
either.
drawing board.
I heard that, Omar. Nobody else did, but I heard it.
What Omar said?
What was that? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I want to pay attention to the pastor. He must sneak on the grass.
No, it just have to be, well, let's just put it this way. We understand that based on your interaction with various persons, you can get a insight into how they might think pertaining certain things. And I suppose that would inform you in terms of your poetry and your writing of your poems.
Hmm? A lot of things people
Good
do are
lawyer.
based on feeling, A lot of things people do.
Right, Trinette?
Yes,
How that
Great
go?
lawyer.
yes.
Yes.
Very.
Omar
That's
seems
a way
to
to
be
call
your
it.
attorney. He taking up for you.
Very diplomatic.
Very.
You know that show they have where they get in a trouble. They say you can call a friend. Omar is my friend. I should call you.
The help. It's the helpline.
The helpline. Omar is my helpline. Anytime it get too hot, we just say, Omar, you come use your nice calm tone and calm them back down for me, sir.
Omar
Oh,
is what
boy.
Spice sing about. Cool it down.
Omar, you know that song?
So you not style up the man.
Omar, it's great to see you. I don't remember if we
it's
welcomed
Martin,
you.
it's Martin we're supposed to be talking about, right?
But you are the defense attorney.
Omar, you are the one
Exactly.
taking him out of the hot seat.
Yes, you are the
Exactly.
defense attorney.
So
Boy.
when you
But you
take
see-
something out, you have to replace it. You place yourself
You
in
see-
this position.
One of the things that I like about the poems is that even though they were written years ago, they basically transcend time, and
Yes,
some of them
they're
can
relevant.
fit perfectly. Some of them can fit perfectly in
With what is
with
happening now.
happening. No, because the poem that I selected, was toxic, and I mean,
Wow.
when I see what is happening now, toxic is so perfect.
Relevant.
And I mean, to see that
Yeah.
Toxic was written in 2014. And to see how it is applicable. I mean, we have a lot of examples of toxicity. I miss it again, Martin.
Toxicity.
Nobody
I
gets
miss
it
it,
right, ever.
I miss it again.
I wonder
So we
why.
have a lot of that in our society right now. So Martin, what is your interpretation of toxic, though, Martin?
Okay, so toxic is like Wendy's Predator. Toxic is actually like Wendy's Predator, where you took it in a different direction that I intended it. So all right, let me find toxic. You did,
Toxic
63,
part one
part
or
one or
part
part
two?
two.
I think he did part one. Where is that?
Okay. What,
And
63?
while you're looking for it too, one of the
Look
things
at
that
me,
crossed my
Jason.
mind, the millennials,
63.
my children, that's the word they use now, Alfred. When you hear them speaking
Okay.
to each other, they're telling each other that's toxic. That's the word the millennials use now. So as Alfred said, it is relevant to what is happening now, even how they express themselves. That's a word that is used predominantly
It
when they want to talk
transcends
about
time.
a
It can fit in
situation.
perfectly in what is happening.
Yeah.
So go Martin, go with toxic.
Yeah. So all right. So I'll speak to what I'll speak to your interpretation first. You
No.
interpreted.
Don't say how I interpret it. I'll say that after. You go ahead.
Okay. So toxic. All right. I'm gonna browse through toxic real quick.
Blushing again.
Okay. And toxic, I wrote on the back of a receipt while watching. My kid was at a soccer game, and I was there, and I was sitting with the other parents, and I wrote toxic on the back of a Walmart receipt. But anyways, it says ignoring warning labels, cruising past danger signs, disguising the obvious as fables, overtaking on double lines. The probability of bodily harm, falling prey to boyish charm, the invariable result, like being beaten to a pulp. This has nothing to do with abuse at all.
Wow.
It absolutely has nothing to do with abuse.
It's hidden in the
The
poem.
beating of the heart.
It's like, okay, so ignoring warning labels, cruising past danger signs. So there is a scenario, there is something there that you are ignoring what is staring you in the face. That's all it is. It said the probability of bodily harm, falling prey to boyish charm. A deadly mixture brought about by two fatal attraction that subdues the end result. It brought obvious toxicity brought. Now, it says the lure of the familiar, the ease of the connect, that which comes after the unforeseen next step. All this is similar to the poem we read just now, that you also mentioned, Alfred. All this is courting almost. It is two people who have a toxic attraction to each other. So they're not allowed to be together for whatever reason. They shouldn't be together for whatever reason. The toxicity comes about when they're in the same place. So it's a scenario where it's like you can't trust yourself around this particular person. It's an ex, it's a baby father, it's a baby mother. You don't trust yourself around this person because of the nature of the attraction you two have for each other. So when on our part, no problem. If you're in the presence of other people, no problem. But the very nature of how toxic you two are together, if you're not ever alone in the same place at the same time, anything can happen. And that's toxic.
Oh well, as you were,
Martin, you're weird.
Iconic advisor. Why are you so quiet? Iconic.
You're weird, Martin. You're weird.
Oh,
you know,
I mean, I
sir,
felt like, okay, then another. Martin, why do you choose the topics though? Is it to deter us from the actual meaning or interpretation of the poems?
Well, that's the way I see it. That's the way to me, that is a toxic connection. to me.
It could have been Forbidden Connection.
Okay, but we already had Forbidden Connection. So this
This is another. This is
Sharnet, are
this
you
is
saying
another
the poem could have been-
derivative from Forbidden Connection. Then,
if you
So it could be Forbidden.
and in the first stanza,
No, well,
in the first stanza, I can see that the characteristics of a lion too, Charlotte.
There you go, girl.
Go
ahead, Omar.
That I would think that toxicity actually is relatable. I wouldn't necessarily put it at forbidden, because as he was speaking, I was just thinking about the current state of affairs in our country as it relates to domestic violence. And
Omar, that was my interpretation.
It just came to me in light of what has been happening recently. Sometimes persons are asking the questions why these ladies, since most of them tend to be that ladies remain in these relationships that are obviously dangerous, inflicting harm to them. And this toxicity is what comes to mind.
But
It's
the
right
author
there
just
in,
said
in their
it's not
face.
about that.
No, however, when Alfred dealt with it though, I didn't bat an eye, because this poem can absolutely 100% be applied to a domestic abuse, and the word toxic in this sense can be used for a different meaning of just something that is harmful to the person. Absolutely, it makes perfect sense.
But I am here and I'm stunned because Martin, how Omar interpreted. That's exactly how I interpreted. That's why when I read it, I said it was perfect with what was currently happening in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So listening to Martin's explanation, I'm like, yo, your brain, something wrong with your brain, Martin.
Martin,
Something wrong with your brain, because I didn't get that any at all.
No, I get. But here's the thing.
now,
Here's the thing, though.
I mean,
That's
now
the
that you've
beauty.
explained it, it actually
makes
makes
sense. That's
wait,
what Charlotte
Alfred, you
was
need to
saying.
come back on the show now. Martin,
There's not a wrong or a right when it comes to poetry interpretation. There's not a wrong or a right.
Well,
I need your interpretation of Profile, Mr. Matthews. I did Profile, which was one of the poems. I think I remember what I interpret, but then I want to hear your interpretation. This is getting very interesting.
Where's Profile? Profile is 49.
Page 49. That's
All
one
right.
of the ones. I can't remember the other one.
Well, what was your take on Profile?
I think at one point I said to you, as a woman, was it that I felt jealous was one of the words I used? I'm trying to remember. Or what was the word? I can't even remember my interpretation, but then I said it was someone that you admire, someone who was self-driven, someone who was of course she have her thing locked in terms of her she works hard, she maintains her sexy, so she's a hard worker, but yes, she's a flamboyant, fabulous woman. And it seems as if you admire not just the exterior or the posterior, but what is inside and what she stood for, as a industrious woman. Then that's what I thought. And I think I had some other stuff that I had said, but then I don't remember, because even with all of these poems now, the interpretations are totally different. So I want to hear yours.
Well, you're gonna get off easy this time, because your spin on it was pretty spot on to my intent. When I wrote it, it's just somebody. It's somebody that this is written from a male perspective, admiring a woman. So he's listing all the things about her that he thinks are amazing, or that makes her a spectacular or singular individual. And like the things that it says that she aspires to are things that are desirable by anybody. Luis's comment though is saying that, or Alfred, I'll let you address Luis's comment.
She says the reference to toxicity here is a whole lesson. Some people are just fine, but in combination with you, it may be a relationship disaster.
And
So
that,
persons.
go ahead, Omar.
So what I guess what she's saying that persons by themselves are fine, or even the case where two persons can be very good friends, but once they move past the friendship stage, it becomes toxic. They can survive being good friends, but if they get into a relationship, it's like the worst thing ever. For some
The
reason,
lions come out.
But yeah,
a
a lion and a
certain
lioness.
Yep.
I totally agree, sir, with this one. This political correct response.
Omar for the win. Omar for the win.
Defenders of the earth.
Yep.
Martin, I think
Sure.
earlier Louise had asked what was the journey like to publishing? I mean, from you writing these poems
publication.
to then publication. What was that journey like?
All right.
I mean, in case you have persons who have the skills, I mean, they can write their own poems, and maybe they have tons of poems someplace. So maybe you can give them some insights as to how to move it from it being scribbles on a paper to actually being a book.
Well, once I decided to publish, there are persons out there now offering services all over. And in fact, the way I did it before is not the way I intend to do it now. I had Latoya Patterson on a little bit ago, and Latoya is probably doing it now the way I did it. So once I decided to publish and I got everything typed up, got everything set up, Amazon is who I used. The trick with Amazon is Amazon has to get their cut. And when they're the ones doing the printing and distributing, they get a bigger cut than you do, right? Yes, it's your content, but you don't have anywhere to print books. You know, so when the order goes into Amazon now, they send it off to the printery, it gets printed, and it goes. You get what you forget out of it and so on. There are other ways to do it. You know what I mean? You can go to a publisher and get them your manuscript and get some traction to your manuscript even before it's printed, so that you can get the backing you need to have somebody else push your book, have your book work for you, essentially. You can get people to endorse your book. If you can get your book in the hands of famous persons, they can endorse the book, and that will give you some traffic. So say, you know, I love listening to music. Say I reach out to one of my musician friends and say, yo, you know, what do you think about this good? You know what I mean? I reach out to Yasser Safari and Muta and people that are known in those circles and get some momentum from that. You know what I mean? But you can send everything you have to a place like Amazon and they'll do everything. Or you can find a local publisher and they can format it to the size that you want it to be printed, and you can get all it going that way. But usually there are persons out there offering pretty much all the services you need. You really just need to find it when you're ready. And you can literally search them and find it wherever you are.
I might do a little free ad. We actually do have one of our, for Alton and Martin, or Myconian, who actually has a publishing thing going on. Ruth Taylor, or Kamika Taylor, she's from 162nd batch as well. She has this entrepreneur set up, and she has done it self-publishing. I think she has published over 20 books now, and she has helped other persons in their publishing as well.
All right.
Martin, my final question for you. Why poems and not a novel?
Novel take too much concentration.
These words are deep concentration.
Yeah, but they're sporadic. They're sporadic. I don't have to have them all at once. I don't have to have them in a straight line.
That's That's it. That's it.
I can have them. I get like literally. I have a whole series of text messages to myself because I could be somewhere, see something, the line for that comes to me, and I type it to myself, or I'll send Belle voice notes, or I'll send my daughter voice notes, and when they hear it, they know, don't even pay it no mind. That's me saving something for myself.
Thanks,
So
thanks.
they're the notepads.
Yeah, I've written poems by seeing somebody walk across the street. I see he look at her a particular way, or she looks at him a particular way, and there's poetry right there. You know what I mean? So you can start off by saying, you know, the look in her eyes when he walked away. He never knew that he was going to stay. How would she know he'd come back another day? You know, it just kind of flows.
Yes, sir. All I can say is congratulations again. I've said it. I own actually 2 copies because the first one had said not a black man but Rasta man, so I wanted to be current and relevant, Alfred. So I own 2 copies, and I must say it's a brilliant idea. And continue to write, continue to inspire, and to confuse also.
Yes, hey, like I said, the next book is with the publisher now, and yeah, the next book I'm gonna take it up a little.
Yeah, I can imagine what this quarantine has caused you to write.
My God, I get.
Actually, no, you see, I own on the quarantine.
No, we're gonna be confused when we read these.
More mind-boggling titles.
I'm not even about quarantine. We're not on quarantine. Oh no, I'm
and Kenya, this will be happening again,
right?
Maybe
the whole book this time.
The leaves will be folded.
Actually, so here's the thing, Alfred. There's actually a poem in the next book called Her Grace. What do you think that poem is about? If there's a poem in the next book called Her Grace.
Queen.
That's exactly the queen.
Her Grace.
Her Grace. It's called Her Grace.
It's either Portia or the queen.
You see?
I'm not certain.
So I'm too wifey. What I'm too wifey? What do you mean?
But you see,
the queen.
Oh yes,
the queen.
the queen. There's no single definition for the queen.
When I associate that reverence with the queen, I used to wifey, you don't want to across the mind. You don't speak.
Her Grace is actually the poem about domestic abuse.
Oh, Martin.
Okay.
Oh,
Maybe we need to see the lines and the contents of that particular, so we can make a fair analysis.
No,
Her
here's
Grace,
the thing,
though,
though.
the question was asked
Her
earlier.
Grace, though, it's kind of.
The question was asked earlier, and it is now very obvious. It was asked whether or not the title is it.
Is a replica.
The reason for some of the title
what's to come
is to ensure that you distract and confuse the reader. Because the title has nothing at all. It has nothing to do with the essence of the poem.
No, but here's the thing, Alfred.
You coined it correctly, Alfred. Martin, you're weird.
How can you title something Her Grace and then it is speaking about abuse?
But let me tell you, Alfred, let me tell you.
Unless you name Grace.
Can we hear it, Mr. Matthews?
Let's hear the. Let us hear the artist bring his.
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Unless Alfred, the only way I say this makes sense, unless she named Grace.
No, it's not. All right, let me see if I find it before I have a Her Grace. Okay, Her Grace. I actually found it, and I'm not gonna read the whole line because, like I say, it's coming. It's actually in the next book. It says her absence went unnoticed. Her absence from community activities went unnoticed for months. The neighbors blamed the loud noises on newlyweds having fun. Her co-workers didn't think twice when she started wearing makeup to work. Her children were the only ones who sensed her hurt. When they were out, she projects the required facade. She does everything he wants. She follows every word. Back at home, her life is a virtual prison. He's the warden, and the rules are not written. Yet, she's expected to get everything right, silently crying herself to sleep at night, hopelessly trying to live up to his expectations. How can this happen to a bright, intelligent woman? And it continues. But the concept of her grace is kind of like her grace is actually lost. This is the place where she lost her grace. So the her grace concept is almost like a mourning for her lost grace that she no longer has on account of the abuse that she
or if I
Yeah.
give a biblical spin on it, when Paul asked God to remove that thorn in his flesh, and God said to him, "My grace is sufficient." So in a sense, it is her grace that is keeping her in this what you'd call now disastrous situation.
But why didn't you say His grace?
Omar for the win.
But
Omar.
why didn't you say His
Omar.
grace?
Omar for the win.
Martin confusing us.
Exactly. It's not her grace, it's His grace.
Omar for the win.
Omar is confused like you.
No man,
Alfred, if you are right in that, what would you write? No, either if you're gonna say her faith or His grace,
Yes.
but her grace.
Her
No,
grace.
man.
How that work with abuse?
I'm mourning.
I-
I'm mourning
You're
for the
weird.
grace.
I can see.
No,
I can
the-
see where she's.
Kadia,
Yeah, don't try bail him out. Don't bail him out. Don't bail him
No,
out.
no, 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 no.
Because
I'm not bailing him out, you know. But I could see where she actually lost her
what
grace
is that?
by his doing or doings. So I can kind of see it from a
But
literary
grace-
perspective.
but grace is rescuing. How she saving
Hey,
someone
you only
from.
heard half first. You only heard half of the poem. There's that whole another half to it. That's what's
Oh
probably
yeah, you know, Omar. So you're probably all wrong.
So, Martin, in essence, you took us in one direction. So like we were going up, and you just change direction on us because you're saying that maybe if we hear the other part of it, then we'll get what you're saying because we still haven't gotten it as yet. You know?
It's poetry, bro. It's poetry. I don't know what to tell you. It's poetry, bro. It's just poetry, man. I appreciate y'all, bro. Taking the time out to come rap, mix it up with me. If there's nothing else, I think I've been a good sport.
I'm tired.
Martin,
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm
You should have
confused.
I'm
No,
exhausted.
well, maybe that's a strategic plan of the author, the writer, to get us to try to see what is the poem's really about.
I make
So-
you say this is not easy work. Make you say this is hard work going into these things.
I am intellectually tired and emotionally exhausted. And that's exactly what it
emotionally.
means. I'm going from them
We
here.
say your grace Shernet.
Share
Be
it.
grace.
Share it, the bars here. You need so grace. All right, peoples.
You see,
Wrap
Martin,
wrap us up, Alfred.
Martin, the thing is, and we would have heard it, all the listeners would have heard it, just as how it has come out to us this evening about how creative you are. I've said it a
Yes.
number of times, how weird your mind is. But it's the creativity that ensures that you are in a space, you are seeing other person's experiences, and you are writing it from that point of view. But maybe each person who reads it gets a different interpretation. And that shows the skill, and competence of an excellent writer. So kudos, my friend. Kudos, my friend.
Yes,
You
yes.
have
Kudos.
done an exceptional job so far. Continue writing.
Appreciate y'all.
The pastor is here, so I'm certain pastor would agree that it's the blessing that you have gotten. It's a talent that you have gotten, and we're happy that you're using it.
But no,
And
Heidi,
it
and
is
I don't
really-
need
What,
me a
you know
plant
what
it.
I'd like to see, guys, for the persons on Martin's page who are watching and who will be watching this afterwards, to actually give an interpretation of probably their a favorite poem or a poem that they like or one that they have read, their interpretation of the poem, Martin, and their questions to Martin, and then Martin is going to tell us his take. So this can be a
Right.
follow-up after the show, because that would be interesting to see some of, because I don't think it's just us.
Absolutely not.
I
Absolutely
would be
not.
happy to know that we're the only one who are confused. So it would be great if that is done. So at least we know that we're not the only one who confused. Martin is confusing a lot of persons, but
Except
again,
Omar.
it shows your
Except Omar.
but I guess
What?
it shows your skill, Martin, and I
Well,
think
well,
you have done an exceptional
maybe
job. Go ahead,
creative
Omar.
minds think.
Appreciate it.
No, I'm saying maybe creative minds think alike, you know.
Yes.
So-
And defend each
Yeah.
other.
Truth be told, I
never
thought
know.
one of the poem was about me.
Okay.
I get that a lot.
To be honest, I do a little writing, you know, as well. Songs
Martin,
and poems.
truthfully,
So
somebody
we
actually
kinda-
wrote me about one of the poems, you know, and said, "Is this about you?" I'm like, "Me not think so."
Does that person have a insight
Background
into
information,
your
maybe.
background
Person read the poem,
information?
like, yeah,
to-
I
I tell
mean,
you.
you have Martin. I don't know Martin from Michael. I know Martin from Mandeville All Age, you know. Then Manchester. So we know each other from our fitness. So we have a friendship. So you know we interact. So people are say, you know things about you. Are you write this about? But yeah,
I think you would
You
have
put down
made.
something
I
here,
think
go
you would
push on
make.
it.
You would have made an excellent literature teacher too.
True.
I'm not sending my child to Martin's class.
Maybe they'll understand more than us. That's the thing.
Jaden and Jonas
They
not
may just
coming here.
understand him more than we do.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you. No, nice to me, and I
So-
appreciate it.
So Martin, as we wrap again, kudos to you, kudos for your hard work, kudos, much respect to your creativity. Again, you're using your talent to inspire others. And also a major thing is having this platform where some of us who have interacted with you, we can share our story while reading your poetry and interpreting how we see fit. So you're also it's not only that you are promoting your book and your poem and your skill, but you're also using it to promote others and their successes. So that's excellent. Continue to do well, my brother. Continue using your platform and your creativity to help and promote others while also promoting yourself. So
And reconnecting
kudos, my brother.
because I have not seen Omar since high school.
Yeah, me neither. I think this was the first. Was it here or was it on the WhatsApp group, Omar?
Y'all are
As
welcome
in,
for the link
see
up.
face to face.
Kadia, it's his because of Martin. We link up, right?
Yes.
Oh,
So
You're
oh.
you're from
welcome.
class of 95 too?
No,
96.
Oh, okay.
That was so she was behind us.
But you know what? But you did an hour block all the time then.
No, I was actually in cadets with Omar.
Okay.
You were always on. I thought you were class of 95. So
Yeah,
I wasn't in
because-
cadets. You must have been on our block a lot.
Well,
Oh no, sweetie. What?
she would have been.
Then I saw me especially always
No.
up on the block.
That is what she was saying.
Cadet. Well,
But I'll
well,
be here
there
what
was
Martin
Christopher
said.
Lewis in cadet.
I heard
There was
too, I heard
David
too.
Peake in cadet. There was Matthew Lawrence. Also from cadets.
Leighton Lawrence. Leighton Lawrence.
There was Leighton Lawrence and there was Martin.
Warren Martin.
Warren
Oh,
Martin.
Warren Martin. Yes, I remember
yeah,
Warren.
Yeah.
I don't remember him.
Warren a good boy.
He's in
All right,
the-
peoples.
in-
Oh, but say that now wrap up. Me I go wrap up. Catch up
Yeah, we
with
can
the
hand
one.
it over to you, you know.
Catch up with the
Let's
one
carry
in the
it
part
over.
overtime.
I have another
well, really-
presentation, so I gotta go. It was
All right,
fun.
peoples, it's been reals. I appreciate
right.
y'all. For the viewers out there, take care. Next week, we're going to have some more guests on the show and we're going to mix it up again. All right? Until
All
that
right.
time,
All right.
yourself and yourself. Peace.
Keep safe. Sanitize.